The Magic Garden of Kindness. Once upon a time, in a land full of wonder, there lived a kind and gentle princess named Liana. She lived in a grand castle on a hill, surrounded by a vast magical garden that bloomed with the most beautiful flowers anyone had ever seen. But it wasn't just any garden, it was special because it would only bloom when kindness filled the air. Princess Liana was known throughout the kingdom for her kind heart. Every morning, she would visit the garden, tending to the flowers, talking to the animals, and making sure everything thrived. One day, a terrible drought fell upon the land. The streams dried up, and the fields turned brown. The once bright garden began to wither, and the villagers were sad because they thought nothing could save it. The king, Princess Liana's father, called upon wise men, magicians, and farmers, but no one could figure out how to restore the garden.
I believe that kindness can still bring it back,
she said confidently. Princess Liana gathered everyone from the village and told them her plan. She believed that if the villagers helped one another, showing acts of kindness, the garden might bloom again. At first, the villagers were unsure, but they trusted the princess. One by one, they started doing kind deeds. A young boy helped his neighbor carry heavy buckets of water, an elderly woman baked bread for hungry children, and people shared what little they had with those in need. As days passed, something magical began to happen. The flowers in the garden started to lift their heads. The trees, once dry, began to sprout green leaves. The air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers, and soon, the magical garden was restored, more beautiful than ever. The princess smiled as she saw the kindness spreading throughout the kingdom, knowing that her belief had saved the garden. From that day forward, the kingdom continued to thrive, not just because of the garden, but because of the kindness that lived in every heart. And the moral of the story is, true magic comes from kindness, and when we help one another, we can make the world bloom.